You are live like
Yeah.
that. All right. So welcome, friends. As you're coming in, if you would please just let us know you're here. You can give us a little hello. Anything in the chat box. It takes a little bit for those to show up, but Crystal and I are super excited to have Faith with us, and we will be introducing her shortly as we start to see individuals come on. So, Crystal, how was your day? Tell us how your day was before we do our intro.
Oh, you are on top of it, Sherra.
Well, we gotta kill a little time for our friends to show
Okay,
up.
but I'm trying to share our thing. Okay, now I'm ready. My day. It was a Monday. I'm so happy to be here on this Monday.
Yeah.
And the rain, there's so much positive things about it. The rain waited till all the kids went home.
Oh, good.
So we did not have rainy day recess. So I am coming here with a happy heart.
Yeah.
How about you? How was your day?
So we got home yesterday from traveling from Texas. We were gone for 5 days, and it was a Monday in the sense of just acclimating back to things that needed to be done, things that were ignored while I was away, kind of is what it felt like, like emails and grocery shopping and just like all of that. So it's been I've been kind of out of sorts, but maybe it's the weather too. So it could be that.
Faith, the weather has changed.
Yes. Faith, how was your day?
My day has been great. I have basically just waited all day in excitement to be a part of this opportunity. And yeah, I'm just really excited. And yeah, other than that, it's been a good day.
It's been a day of homework though, right?
Yes.
Did you
yes.
say?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad it's been a good day. Yeah. Faith, you're a junior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to make sure.
Already?
I know. Crazy. It's crazy for me.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Mm-hmm. So as you come on in and sit around the table with us, friends, if you would be so kind to let us know you're here. Yay, I see Sally and Libby and Rachel. Hello. Thank you for being with us. Hi, Katie. This is Beyond the Classroom, Conversations Through the Eyes of Our Youth. And Crystal and I, Sisters of the Heart, who are definitely connected to our community, our families, and the youth, and have the same passion for nurturing all of that. Families, our youth, our communities, have been doing this now. I think this is our 3rd month of meeting on Mondays, and just having these real organic, real conversations about our worlds. And, we both work with youth, but our worlds look different. And so being able to share and give a place that's safe for our families to also to contribute to the conversation with what they're living currently. My name is Sherra Grasser. I'm a youth empowerment coach and the founder and director of Me-Powerment programs. I'm also the mom to 2 young adults. My son, Tyler, is 25, and my daughter, Emmy, is 22. Crystal, I'll hand it to you.
I should start going first because you're kind of hard to follow.
Okay, you go first next Monday.
I was just joking. Okay, first before I go, Faith, can you see the comments so you can see who's here? Okay, yes. Good, because Sally Smith is here. She was the first one, and I know how special she is to you. So, and of course, Libby's pretty special to you too. Okay, so I'm Crystal. I am a mom of 2. I work at Martha Lake Elementary. I have Shayna, who is 24. Wow, that was a moment right there. I mean, I've known it since March, but gosh, to say it out loud, love that girl. And then I have Eric, who is 22, almost 23. And I have another one too. I have Katie, and that is Eric's girlfriend, but she's really ours now. She's been with us for a long time, and she's going to be 21 in just about 2 weeks. We're going to go celebrate her. And but that's enough about me. I would like to bring Faith to the head of the table here. I'm so happy to have you with us, Faith. You have been such a blessing in my life and a blessing in so many other lives. And I am just honored to sit with you. And I can't wait to hear your story. But Faith, introduce yourself to us.
Okay, I'm going to make you big. I'm going to make you big, Faith, first so that you can be the lead of the screen for everyone.
Oh, there she is. They're beautiful.
Yay. But before we can let Faith introduce herself, Faith, did you see how that just all happened?
Yeah.
I had told Faith that we might argue over who was going to introduce her, but I was going to let you, because really you've known Faith longer than me. And we didn't even have to like draw straws. Like you just rolled right into that, friend. That's how good we are.
That's good. That's good. Well, I wouldn't have wanted to fight you for it, but she's just so special.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. It's all you, Faith.
It was a very smooth transition. I do have to give it to you guys.
Good.
Anyways, my name is Faith Murray. I am 17 years old. I am a junior, and I go to Lynnwood High School and Edmonds Community College because I'm a Running Start student. And I am lucky enough to sit here tonight with these two lovely ladies and have an open conversation with them.
Yay.
Okay.
I know.
I just have so much that wants to jump out of my mouth right now. Okay, first, Libby, if you would so kindly, I mean, I should have asked you first, but if you could have the links ready to share, where I know that there was a Eric's Little Heroes link, and there was another link, as long as, Faith, you're okay to share your CRMO with us and what you have done and endured with that. But I thought the link would also be a good follow-up for people if they'd want to click on it and watch it later, because you're so darn adorable when you were little in your little keep on swimming. But anyways, okay, let's go. Faith. Wow. I don't even know where to start. I'm so excited. I have a story in my head I can't wait to share about you, but I'll try to hold it back a little bit. So I met Faith at Martha Lake Elementary. Faith and her family. They have a whole bunch of you guys come through our school, and you just gave so many gifts of your heart with us that there's just no way that we couldn't know you. And I think that that's a big part of what we were hoping to talk about today is your gifts and what you have done and continue to do in your community. But Sherra, did you have like things that you wanted to say? Because I could just say it all.
I will fill in the gaps if there's something that but Crystal, I would love for you just to move through this. Well,
if it's okay, let's start with the heart. Like what the reason why Sherra and I were talking about, one of the many reasons why Sherra and I were talking and thought, yes, Faith would be perfect to come sit with us is on top of all the gifts that you bring to your community, which I definitely want to have time to talk about. You have endured some very invisible illness that others cannot see. And we would like to share with our community things about that. Like, what does that feel like to have something that's so horrible and yet others can't see it? And do you feel supported? And have you been hurt by others because they don't understand, things like that. So when I say things like that, what comes up for you?
I think, as you guys mentioned, I do have an invisible illness called chronic recurrent multifocal osteomyelitis. And yes, it's a mouthful, but it can be abbreviated to CRMO. And I've had it since I was 4 years old. There's a little bit of a background. And it's been a long, tough journey with this disease that I've had. And it can be called an invisible illness. But I think my community, first off, has blessed me and supported me in so many ways that I could not, like, there's no way that I could like thank them enough, and all of you guys, just for what my community has done for me, for my situation. And that is definitely something that plays a big part when you have something that's not seen with your eyes. It's a little bit deeper, and takes more understanding for people to like kind of get a grasp on, you know, what it is and how to handle it. And so I've been blown away by the people that I've encountered and the love that they've just like openly given me, like without even questioning my, you know, what I've gone through or things like that. It's been really amazing. So, I mean, I think that it's, you know, everybody, I've said this since I was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, and I say everybody has something. And it is, I don't think I realized how big or meaningful that was when I was 4 or 5 years old. But now that I'm 17, it hits me, and I'm like, that is so true, that everybody, even if they don't think they have something, everybody has something that they're dealing with. And it just, keeping that in your mind can help bring so much more unity to our communities, and just, you know, a level of understanding and love, which is, I've been lucky enough to have that for my story.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So Faith, so, you know, it's hard. I know you're like, oh, Sherra, you always say this, but I can't help but believe that the love that you have received is aligned in what you're receiving because of what you also give.
Yes.
Like if people on here even that don't know you, right? They don't know that there is days, weeks, maybe months of excruciating pain, excruciating hard, because a lot of what we see is what's in front of us right now, right? Like this beautiful smile. And I know even through the pain and the hard, there is always that smile. You are welcome to say no, even though we are live, you are always welcome to say no. Okay. Permission given. Are you comfortable sharing with us what hard is for you? What that is? I know when the Little Heroes link gets picked or gets shared, that was a really hard to watch. Crystal and I said if we had to watch that again with you, we'd be crying. But what is hard? What is that pain? What is that like for you?
Yeah. That's a really great question that I interestingly have never been asked before, because it's something that, which is totally fine. Like I'm actually appreciate that someone has asked me kind of what, you know, what it is that I go through. But for people who don't know, CRMO is a rare autoinflammatory disease. Just, I'm sure there'll be links and you guys might know me, but just a little bit of a background. It's inflammation of the bone. And so your bones swell and you can see it from the outside. And personally, I have it in my knees and ankles the most, and a couple other places. But I've used wheelchairs and crutches and braces and wraps and all kinds of medication, which is totally another story. But on a day that is hard for me, where pain is at, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10 is at a 7, 8, you know, I think it's, you know, definitely, you know, you're going to be on the couch for most of the day. And it's, you know, I guess the way to vocalize how the pain feels, it's like a hammer going to your bones or something kind of like sharp in your, you know, that's just really painful. If you can imagine like almost breaking a bone, if anybody out there has broken a bone or seen kids, you know, jump off a trampoline and break their arm or something like that. It almost feels a little bit like that when it's at the worst. And there's not much that you can do to minimize it. So, yeah, it stays like that for it's unexpected. It's not like a planner where
Right.
Tuesday you're going to be at a pain level 5 and Wednesday. And I think that's one of the most challenging things about this invisible disease that I have is it's so unexpected. So I remember in elementary school, I'd be running at recess for 15 minutes and I would be fine, come back to class because I was running and like totally be crying and in pain. And it's so hard. Like, how do you visually, since we're a visual, people, it's not like I fell down and scraped a knee. And so I think that that's something that I guess is probably the most challenging about this disease is the visual aspect of kind of getting past that. So yeah.
Right, because you're not in a wheelchair every day. You're not using a cane or crutches every day. Those are just aids that you use when you need them. They're not the 24/7.
Yeah, very true.
Well,
I mean, you go.
Well, I just listening to you talk, one of the things you said in the very beginning is you guys know me, so you know this, so I'm going to give some background. It's true, we do know you, but the background cannot be said enough because even though I know you, I mean, the goal of this really is so that other people get to know it. But my truth, Faith, is I know you and I feel like I know you really well. I absolutely have loved and adored you ever since I've met you. But yet, I don't know if it's a denial in my heart or if it's because I just don't want you to be in that pain. Like, I still need the reminder. And I mean, if you were to ever tell me, which you never have, by the way, like, I'm in so much pain, I can't do this. Like, I have never heard that come out of you. I've never, you just don't share that side. So even though those of us that know you and I feel like I can say I know you kind of well, I don't get to see that side. And I think that's a gift that you give me, but I think that I want the reminder. I want to know. I want others to know what you endure and not because it's I feel like it's anybody else's responsibility, but the more we know, the more we're willing to fight this fight. And there is a fight to be had. Your mother, which we could do a whole talk with your mother as well. I mean, the champion that she has been to get the information out there. I mean, gosh, Faith, could you actually speak to that a little bit? There wouldn't be a Seattle group really if it wasn't for your mom. She taught doctors, if I understand this correctly.
Yes, basically she when I was diagnosed at 4 years, I was misdiagnosed at 4 years old and I woke up with 2 fully collapsed vertebrae in my neck and I just like woke up and I was like, Mom, my neck hurts, and I was crying and screaming and I was like this hurts. And so we didn't know what was going on, and so went through all of the hospital like sections, and we ended up 3 years where somewhere we didn't need to be. Like, they told me I had something else and it was not what I had. And when we got diagnosed, they said, you're never gonna find anyone in like 100-mile radius like that will have, probably more than that, like around the world. You're not gonna find anybody who has this disease. And we have come such a long way, a lot by what my mom has done and the work and effort that she's put into this. And now we know people who live in Marysville and like Oregon and California and Alaska. And a lot of the Alaska patients come to Washington for their treatment like every month. So, and around the world now, like we know people in the Netherlands and Australia, and like there's just so many people that we know now because of the work that my mom has done. And then there's the whole medical research aspect where she's gone to so many conferences that I can't even tell you about, that she's spent a lot of time advocating, being my advocate. and more the CRMO community's advocate. So yeah, respect to her. I would not be here without her. Yeah.
What a great mommy's week thing right there. Like, respect to her. It is so true. And actually, Faith, you also just rang another like bell in my head. You said the likelihood of you even knowing anybody within this huge mile radius, you know, states away. And yet, if I understand correctly, and to protect other people, I would never ask you to say their name, but you actually are friends with somebody from Martha Lake that came to Martha Lake, left, and now they have this as well, which is our school.
Yes. Yeah. I've met someone who went to Martha Lake. I remember freshman year, 2 years ago, I was in high school walking down the hallway, and this kid walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, I saw your news piece. By the way, I have promo too." This was in the middle of high school, and I didn't know this kid at all. I was like,
wow.
What? Like, I was this like shock. I was like, no way. Like, are you being serious? And he was like, yeah, I was diagnosed a couple of years ago, and it was just, I think it's more common than we think it is. Like, the more we get to know about it, which is insane from where, the couple of years ago that when we said that the doctor told us you're never going to see anybody else, like, mind blowing.
Well, and I kind of contribute that to the efforts of you, your mom, and Kayla. Is it Kayla?
Yes.
And Kayla also, you know, you guys have done so much work getting the name out there, getting the information out there. That's really how people are finding relief. That's really how people are getting diagnosed, because it's out there. I mean, sadly, our doctors here didn't really know much about it. So thank you to you guys. I mean, I look at me thanking you, and I'm not even the one suffering the pain. You know, I'm just, whatever we can do as our community and our community that's here listening to your story today, like, let's put some effort forward and spread it around, because as you are a junior, wow, already, but since 4 till then, we've seen great improvement and still so much work to do, just like everything else we're fighting for, right? Let's never stop talking about it.
Yeah. I so agree with that. Absolutely. And I think, you know, I love what you said about like it's so nice to be giving the shout out and love to Libby, Faith's mom, because here we are, Mother's Day weekend's coming up, right?
Yeah.
And so that's so timely, but I think the advocacy part is so hard. When we are in these really hard places, we can't do it alone.
Right.
You know, and Crystal and I talk about this all the time. Like, we aren't here even to do life alone. Like, we are human beings, and we are wired to do hard things, but we can't do the hard things without the connections, without others. And your story, I mean, it's just one of many that we really brings that attention to those connections, those people that need for advocacy, that need for our tribe, our people.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
you know, Faith, I think that it would be okay if you took a day and you're like, I'm just not doing this today, and I'm just going to sit in my sorrows and my frustrations and my pain. And I don't think that you ever do that. So can we talk a little bit about, I just don't see that, but maybe you do. And if you do, that's okay. But what I want to talk about, I hope, is what are things that you have done instead of sitting in the frustration of the pain. Sherra and I both know the truth to be that you have found so many other avenues to lift you up, because I know that what you do is so great for the community, but I do know that it does lift your heart as well. And so can you talk a little bit about some of the things that I know there's so many, so you just pick whichever ones you want, that you do for others?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is a loaded question. I mean, I think just a little bit of a background on why I do. I mean, I was thinking about this before we got on the live, but I think because of my physical struggles and how much pain I've been in a lot of my life, I think there was a time when I was really young that just there was this moment of like, okay, well, I don't even think it was a moment. It just was like survival almost. I was in so much pain that I came to the understanding I could not do anything else for myself to make my situation better. There was no medications or physical therapy or stretching or diets. There was nothing else that I could do for myself.
I think Sherra just froze. We're good, but I think Sherra froze. Okay.
I did.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure that we're good. Yeah.
Yes. So you were saying there's nothing else that you could do, which by the way, that was not that this is anything about us and our community, but that alone was hard to hear. Like, there's nothing left that you could do for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as a young child, you realize that.
Yeah. And that wasn't at all based on like what my community, I wasn't like, oh, my community's not helping me or no.
I know that. I'm just saying as people that love you, it's like as a young child, you come to the realization that I can't even stretch. That's not going to help. You said, I can't do a diet. That's not going to help. There's nothing that you could do physically on this earth to make yourself feel better. So you decide.
Yeah. I could not take the pain away. That was it. And so, and this doesn't, to me, it isn't as monumental as I think people make it out to be, but like, I turned and I said, if I can't do anything for myself anymore, like I'm going to shift my focus to other people and my community and, my family and my friends and, those who need it, my energy more than myself. And that wasn't at all like, it didn't feel like this big selfless act. It wasn't, something that was going to make me famous or anything. That was not my intention at all. It was just like, okay, like this was just how I was gonna continue to proceed in my life. And much like how people are gonna choose a career or something, it just was like I was gonna keep living and in the best way that I could. And so, and now because of that decision I made many years ago, I've been so lucky to have worked with so many amazing organizations and perform so many positive acts for the world. And so just to name a couple, I think most recently I've worked with Melodic Caring Project. They have been a huge blessing in my life. They stream live music concerts to kids and teens in hospitals, and I happened to be one of those when I was younger and still am today. And just doing like PR work for them is amazing. They're such good people. They have good hearts and good intentions. Another one is Puget Soundkeeper. They are an amazing environmental organization that strives to keep our Puget Sounds clean, which is so important. And I personally, and this is a whole other like story we could go into.
A whole other live, it's coming.
But whenever I was in pain the most, my mom and I would drive to Edmonds Beach and just sit at the water. We didn't have to talk or anything, and we would just sit. And water has been like a huge aspect of my life, specifically because I'm a swimmer, but also I love the beach, and that is just something that is so near and dear to my heart. So yeah, I mean, there's so many other service acts that I could go through, but I mean, I think the list is a little long. If you guys want organization suggestions, though, you can feel free to reach out to any of us, I guess.
It's so true. So first of all, I want the melodic care how do you say it?
Projects.
Yeah. So I have only got tidbits of them just from your mom's shares. But the other day, oh my gosh, I hope that link can be shared too. It was the cutest moment ever when they dedicated, and this song is dedicated to Faith, and you were like this little person, and you were like, oh, and you were so cute. Of course, it made me cry. But those moments that they have, the ones that I've seen anyways, where they have been there for you, rallying for you, singing for you, I feel like the gift they gave you, you are giving back tenfold. Like I see you. Oh my gosh, the other day when you went to that gala or whatever it was, I didn't even recognize you. Way too cute and grown up. I just can't handle it. Where's our little Faith in that cute little picture going, yay, they're singing for me. That has been that one has been really consistent in your world. I've been seeing a lot about them. And if anybody can help with that one, I didn't even understand what they did, I think, until recently, even though I watched it all along, because they've been so sweet. But what a gift. I mean, music really has been special to you, and they have been wonderful. Now you're swimming. I would love to talk about that, because the swimming in the water, I didn't realize the beach was so special. Like, I hadn't heard that before, although I do know that on your birthday you cleaned up the beach. That was your birthday present to yourself and the world, was you were going to clean it, of course, Faith style. But swimming has been really important to you. And that started when?
It started because I had recently had a major surgery, and my doctors had recommended that I needed to get in the water for like a faster healing process. And nobody knows this a lot, because they're like, oh, Faith, she's this great swimmer, she loves it. I hated it at first, hated it with a burning passion. It was not my thing.
I did not know that. Now, how old were you when this started?
I think I had to have been 7 or 8. Yeah, somewhere. I was probably still in elementary school for sure. But since then I kept going and kept doing it, and it is by far my favorite thing now. Not only because it's fun and, exercise for me, but it's the water actually takes the gravity. Like, on land there's gravity and it's pulling you down, and it's heavy, but when you're in the water there's no gravity. So my bones literally get this like breath, this weight, literal weight taken off of them. So it's like actually therapeutic and healing, and just so helpful, and a huge blessing.
You just say things so beautifully. Like, can you just feel that? It lets your body breathe, or however it gives you breath. Like, it's just, so you got told you had to go in the water. You weren't a fan. You weren't excited about it. Sounds like you got great relief from it and learned to love it. And then you get into high school and you join the swim team. And when you could barely even make it, I think, Faith, this is only what I'm thinking, this may not be the truth, but when you could barely even make it to school, you do everything you can from home, from the couch, from wherever, to keep the grades where they have to be so that you can get in that water and swim for your team.
Yes.
And how did that go?
Yeah, surprisingly, I think it still hasn't fully hit me, but I think we determined after my first year of swimming that I had broken my toes, some of my toes. I was swimming with broken toes. So, that was a little bit of a shock. And
because of your disease.
Yes.
So you broke the toes in the water, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so it was actually before that. So when I was swimming, every time I hit a wall, I was wrapping them, obviously, because they were in a lot of pain, but I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a part of the team. And so I tried to not let it stop me, but there are days I do remember where like there were moments where I was like, okay, like I gotta take a break. Like this isn't, this is not good anymore. But it was so helpful for like my physical body to be able to move. It was good for my socially to be around other people. It was good for me mentally to just like breathe and give that like just a break and have fun for a minute. And same thing for school. It's this disease has, tries to take away little things in your life. It tries to steal these moments and these, things that you want to do. But I just have to say, like, if you have a desire to do something in your heart, it can happen. Like, it is so possible for anyone, not just me. Like, don't put me on a pedestal. I am human. I spend a lot of time on homework. I eat ice cream. I'm not as special as everyone thinks I am.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
but
that's arguable.
Even though you eat ice cream.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have to speak truth to that if you set your heart to something and your mind to something and, push through, whatever you're going through and, just keep swimming,
Yes.
Things will come to life and you are going to find happiness and joy and love in your life and support. And it's just so possible. And I want people out there, kids and adults to know that like it's, you can create this amazing life. No matter the age, like no matter what age you are, it is anything, like the possibility is to the sky.
It's so true. And let's take a few minutes to talk about your team, your group of friends. Like you in middle school, if I remember, you and a couple friends put together a club, because in middle school you get to have clubs.
Yes.
And you and a group. I won't put you on this pedestal that I have you on. I'll share it. But I'll share it with your friends, but you started this group with a group of very wonderful friends. I knew some of them from Martha Lake also. And what is it that you guys do? I think you still do. So what is it that you do? You meet every month, and what do you do?
Yeah, so that experience is such a fun one. I was lucky enough to create a little teen group at home, just my friends, nothing official. And every month we would just gather and pick an organization. Each one of the girls every month would do research, make sure that it was credible and something that they were passionate about. And they would present it to us and we would be, support the girl behind that. And, just really every month we would basically just choose a different organization to support and donate to. And since then we have helped so many countless organizations that are just amazing. We haven't been able to meet as recently just because of COVID. And I think a lot of our members are in high school, and kind of when that transition was made from middle school to high school, things got a little bit busy, but none of them, including me, ever stopped doing community service, which I love.
Yeah.
And I think that was just awesome to, be able to see them, and they joined other clubs and, the club that we started in middle school isn't as active as it used to be, but it doesn't mean that the members are doing anything less, which is so awesome for me to see.
That is awesome.
Faith,
that is very awesome.
Are you open to sharing what some of that community service was, like what you guys actually did? Is there? Okay, cool.
Yeah, of course. I just have to remember some of the things because there's been so many amazing things. This year. Yeah. Okay. So this year was the Puget Sound Keeper cleanup. We went to Edmonds Beach and we cleaned it up and we jumped in the water. to fundraise money. It's pretty cool.
Girls.
And then last year, this one was amazing. Oh my gosh. I did a fundraiser for a friend that my mom knew who works in Africa, in a country called Togo, in this tiny little village, and she teaches the kids there, and they didn't have any books, like at all, for their curriculum. So we did something called Laps for Libraries, and we swam 520 laps collectively as a group, because that's how far it is from their village to a main city if they were going to go get books. And so we ended up raising enough money not only for books, but for a small little building to be built, like an actual like library, shelter, not for the school, but for the entire community. And so that process just happened at the beginning of this year, and we received some of the pictures, and it just made me so happy. It was amazing. And that one was so much fun. Trying to think.
Sally put in chat here, you did blankets for the elderly and her class got to help. That was a cool thing. You came back to the school and went to class.
Yes, I went to a couple classes, at Martha Lake, and then also at a different elementary school. And we just made blankets. We just did a little tie fleece blankets. Nothing like that's super simple. These were like second, first, third through sixth graders. Like they weren't skilled at sewing or professionals, or like I'm not a professional. These were just tiny little like blankets that we were tying, and they turned out great. And they were so appreciative at the elderly care facility that we gave them to. Because they do little like outdoor movie nights, and they need something to keep them warm. And like that was something so easy in my mind. I was like, I'm just going to go to the elementary school and ask these kids to like help me out, make blankets. And it was something that anybody on the planet can do. So that one was, and that one is just so much fun. Anybody who, any family, it doesn't have to be in a group or at a school. It can just be your family or yourself. Go buy a blanket at a grocery store, and they come in kits, or you can just buy a fleece and make one and find an organization to donate to. It's like just so awesome. There's endless opportunities for you to go out to serve your community.
Yeah, you came to Me Empowerment Camp. Mm-hmm. For the first time, and you actually had the youth help you finish a blanket that was already started, and they each got an opportunity to tie and learn, and I loved that. Mm-hmm. And then you also volunteered as a Me Empowerment youth mentor to our Whidbey Island camp, mm-hmm. and absolutely shined there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those experiences were amazing. I mean, just the group that you have created, the environment that you made was beyond, I think, anything that I've experienced, and something that as a youth is so important to find those little sanctuaries of peace and of, support that you can find. And I just so much respect to you for doing that and creating that, space. So, and I thank you for inviting me for all of these opportunities. You guys are amazing, and I love this.
Well, it does take a village. It really, really does. And I believe that, like programs like Me Empowerment are only successful because of the tribe, the village that we've built. And that includes people like yourself, Faith, that are willing to share their time. And I know Katie, who is on here, she came and has shared her time with the Me Empowerment community. Crystal does anywhere and everywhere we can, you're right. It's about those sanctuaries, creating those safe spaces, and finding those opportunities, and then letting the people come, right? Like opening it up so that they have a place to be. But you're a big part of that. And so I appreciate you as well, so deeply and greatly. Yeah.
Wow.
Such a gift.
I love that. Crystal.
You know, well, I
know.
want to be respectful of your time, but I really, we have, I would say, roughly about, 15 minutes. And Sherra asked a really powerful question, and I was so thankful to hear your answer, and even to know that people haven't asked like what your hard day looks like. And it makes me think about, working in the elementary school where I met you, and knowing that you go off to middle school, and middle school can be hard socially, and into high school, there's, definitely some hards and some challenges there. And with what you go through, Faith, because sometimes you come to school walking, and sometimes you come to school in a wheelchair, and sometimes you don't come to school because you're doing school at home. Sometimes you come to school with crutches, and it's been that way the whole time I've known you. That I don't see anything different, and I think nothing of it, but I know you might experience something different than what I think. So I'm wondering, what kind of things have you endured in school, in your school time? And I ask this because other kids may be going through similar, or scared to even come to school and face what it might be. And so what are some things that you have had to, challenges you have had to have?
Yeah, that is a really great question. Again, I think that there's something about society that we just don't want to ask people about their challenges, or the things that they go through, because we have this like closed off, like everything's perfect, and this nice bright shiny face always. And it's really important to ask people how they're really doing and what you can sincerely do for them, because if you don't, it's a lost opportunity to make a connection with someone. I mean, I think I can't really think of anything that has been overly difficult with the school situation and, having this disease. I mean, I guess sometimes people have called me out for being fake, which is completely, understandable. Because, I mean,
why is that? Can we pause there for a minute, Faith? Why is that understandable?
I mean, I think obviously it's not right to treat someone. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's not, obviously I'm not saying that, oh yeah.
No, I know. That's the thing. This is the absolute beauty in you. And this is why I say this, because the fact that somebody goes through what you go through, and you still see where these are honest mistakes, and I know this to be true, the story I want to tell about you is just about this very same thing. So even though they're doing things that aren't okay, you find grace and understanding for them.
Yeah.
So how do you do that, Faith? Like, I want to be mad at them calling you out being fake. And you're like, well, I mean, it's understandable. Now, I know you're not giving them excuses, but I want to know how this happens.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of moments where I do get a little frustrated, and I'm like, that was unkind. And, I don't know why did I have to trip across that kid or whatever? I definitely do have those moments. But again, I think it goes back to when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I said, everybody has something. And I think that is so important for people to keep that in the back of their mind, that you could come across someone who is having the worst day of their life and, not know it. And we all have so many different situations going on in our lives that how can you judge someone based on, little comment that they throw at you. I mean, we all have bad days, and I mean, I think taking that into consideration, I knew that what I was feeling, like I knew that I was having physical pain, like, and I think and it's nice to have validation from other people, making sure that you're okay and, being taken care of. But I mean, it just makes me even more, makes me want to, like, that is another reason, like, why I want to help people and spread positivity and happiness, because, maybe they're not getting the same amount of love or support from their community or their family, like, which is something that is so needed as humans, like, to get through life. And so I think just knowing that they don't mean it 100%. Maybe they did in the moment, but they'll look back and they'll be like, oh, she's pretty cool. I guess, what I said was, wrong or something like that. But yeah, it's, I get upset in the moment and I'm like, that was annoying. And I brush it off later because I know that what I'm going through is real. And, that's all that matters.
Wow. I learned so much from you, Faith.
I know. And I think I'm like, wow, I want to, like, you've planted a seed in me to do and look at things differently. Like what I just heard in that, like you have the wisdom, and even way back then had the wisdom to be able to call it exactly what it was, to be able to say, well, that's unkind. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that right there, like just that awareness and that recognition of what someone may have said to you was almost like a barrier or protection to not just crush you. Not that you didn't have crushing moments. I mean, I think that's the humanness. We have them. But that's what gave you that strength to just call it what it is. That's unkind. That's what, and that puts it into that process of making me think that's everybody's walking their own journey, right? Like they have their own pain and suffering. It just looks different than mine. Mm-hmm. And that their words is a reflection of something that they're working through. Exactly. But I'm almost 50. And like, I'm taking away this big awareness, like, wow, call it what it is. That's unkind. Mm-hmm.
And not hold on to it. Like, not give it the energy, right? I tell kids that all the time, but yet I'm still guilty. Right. So, Faith, I don't know if you remember, but you taught me this very valuable lesson when you were in 5th grade.
No.
Now, I'm not going to call out any names, and I'm not going to, say too much, but I shared a little bit about this with Sherra this morning. Mm-hmm. In 5th grade, how old were you in 5th grade?
Oh, I think 10.
Yeah, something like that. So you came to me because for those of you that don't know, if you're new to us, I work with kids at school, the youth at school, K to 6, on behaviors and friendships and, things like that. And at this point, Faith, you had a trust in me and I felt very blessed. You came to me and you said, this student had been very mean to you, very unkind. Oh, I'm going to be really real right now. I was so mad. Like, how dare this kid do this to our Faith, right? Like, you were like, you just laid it out and you were so honest and raw. And I thought you were asking for help, right? And so I'm like sitting there and I'm processing on how I'm going to help you because this is a big deal. And we get done and I said something like, I'll have a conversation with him. And you said, well, actually, Miss Litz, you were like, what I really would like to do is I would like to talk to him. And I was like, well, of course you do, Faith. Of course you do. No, actually, I was like, well, I still was kind of protective. I didn't know how the student would react to you. Yeah. And I was a little bit nervous about that. I may have even asked your mom if it was okay because I was a little worried, but you you came so brave and so strong, and you actually were able, you taught me in that moment, and you were like, it's that restorative circle and how powerful and important that is. And you said it as it is, that, you know, like, I think it's really more powerful if he hears how it affected me. And actually, your words were so clear in, he was my friend in like first grade or something. You said we were friends, and he was very nice. I've always been nice to him. I don't know why he's acting like this. I think, Miss Litz, something else is going on in his life. And I was like, I mean, I think my mouth was on the ground. I truly did not know how to respond. But that was you in fifth grade. And if I remember correctly, you did get to have that conversation. I don't know how later life turned out. But what I do know is you gave a gift that day, and you gave an opportunity for somebody to not be in trouble. Not like anybody's really in trouble with me, but you gave that person a gift to hear you and to really save face, you know, like be able to hear you away from all of his peers. And whether it turned out the way you thought it would, I want you to know how beautiful it was and what a gift it was and what you taught me. And you do it again today. Like your words of, you know, they're mean, but it might be because they're having a bad day. Like, so big.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, I never want to take opportunities away from people. Like, that is something, how rude of me would it be to, you know, call someone out for something very little that they did that they might have not 100% meant it, and then have them, you know, it just is like, again, it's not worth the time and energy to, you know, try and, I don't know, but it's, I mean, there's just really quickly, there's this quote that I love so, so much, and it's from Claire Wineland. I don't know if that name is familiar to you guys, but it's this woman, this young girl who had another rare disease called cystic fibrosis, and she passed away a couple years ago. But again, very old soul, very humble, very spunky, had the most amazing outlook on life. And she said, life isn't just about being happy. It's not about how you feel second to second. It's about what you're making of your life and whether you can find a deep pride in who you are and what you've given. And I think that I love her so much. And I cry every time I think about her because of just the impact that she's made personally on me. And I think it's so important to realize that we all have something to give on our journey. Like, we all have something to give to this earth, whether that's through service, whether that's through arts, whether that's through sports, or, you know, something that you enjoy and that you love and are passionate about. You need to amplify that and give it to the world, because it is going to be beneficial to someone out there, because they're going to have the same feeling. It's going to be beneficial to you. And I think that is just the one thing that I could not say enough, is choose something that you love and is special to you and your heart, and give that to the world just wholeheartedly and open. And I promise you that it's going to be the most amazing change that you can make in the world. And I think that that's, you guys, I'm just excited for all the journeys and experiences that get to come from anyone.
I'm actually speechless. I think that's a beautiful way to end.
I do too. And, you know, I guess in close for myself, I just want everyone that watches this and live, like that's with us now, and that watches this via the replay or via YouTube, to really go back and re-listen to that message that you shared with us, Faith. Every single one of us has a light within us. There are experiences, people, situations that have dimmed that light often. But it's still there. and find your people. Who's your advocate? Who's your tribe? Who are those people that have those same passions, that same heart? Rally them up, friends, and shine. It's, that's just, yeah, beautiful. I want that quote, Faith. That's beautiful. Yeah.
And I personally think that way about you, Faith.
Yeah.
You read a quote that sounds just like you.
Yep.
And you found your village. Yes, Laura, you are correct. She is amazing. Yeah, and I'm speechless too. This is one that I will actually re-listen to more than once. Because we can always do better, and we can grow every single day. And just like you taught me in 5th grade, you taught me again today, and I couldn't appreciate you more. And I also want to shout out to your beautiful mother, and to happy Mother's Day to her this weekend for the amazing job she has done as a mom that I have witnessed, and that I have not witnessed. I'm sure there's a lot more. Your family is so funny. Oh my gosh, your brothers are so funny, and you and your sister are beautiful and just give so many gifts to our world. So, well, and I guess I have to say happy Dad's Day to your dad too, because I won't be talking to you before, on here before then. But you, Faith, have a beautiful family, and you shine a light that I am so thankful to get to see. And thank you for coming to us live. I hope we get to do this again and sit at this table again. This is just so, thank you. So amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. And thank you, Libby, for keeping all the links and everything active on the chat. I really appreciate that. So thank you, friends. Thank you for joining us. If you're catching this via the replay, we would love any comments. Please continue to contribute. We'll get in there and give you some love as you move through this at your own time. Have a blessed evening, everyone.
Hold on one quick second, Sherra, before you go. I do want to say, just in case people are listening, like I do, I listen to these kind of things every day when I'm running and I'm not really looking. I do hope people take the time to go through the chat and click on those links, or save them and go look at them now. Like Laura, there's some stuff on there that will move you and your children, just knowing, Laura and I are pretty much the same people when it comes to stuff like that. But there was one up here also that I want to, Nicole is on here, is a niece of mine, and she also goes through some stuff. And so I want you guys to pull up these links and look at them. There's some great resources in there, as well as more of the story. And there was something else I wanted to say, but it's left me because I was so excited to find other things in the chat. But I don't know. I don't even know. I can't even remember. But the just go to the links and look at them. Listen to them. There's a lot of great stuff in there. And really a lot of great things to donate to, give to, find what your niche is, where you want to be, because, like Faith says, we can all do more.
Yeah.
And we feel good for doing it.
Absolutely. And if you're walking away with a nugget or something from today's conversation, please share this. You are welcome to share this on your page. Share this valuable information, this feel-good conversation that we had, and the time that Faith shared with us. Share that with your friends as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.